Please welcome the engineers. Once again, good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to Rensselaer and Houston Fieldhouse for tonight's ECAC matchup between the Tigers of Princeton University and your Rensselaer Engineers. Let's meet tonight's starting lineup. First, the visitors from Princeton, starting in the goal, number 33, Colton Finney. At left defense, number 27, Joe Grabowski. At right defense, number 25, Tommy Davis. The starting forward line for Princeton. At left wing, number 11, Aaron Kesselman. At center, number 10, Jonathan Liao. And at right wing for Princeton, number 7, Tucker Brockett. The rest of the Princeton University Tigers, their head coach is Ron Fogarty. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the Engineers of RPI. The starting lineup for RPI brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts' new dark roast blend features a bold start and a smooth finish, just like your Engineers. Leading your Engineers on the ice tonight, the junior engineer, please welcome Ryan Dollar. Starting in the goal, a junior from Winnipeg, Manitoba, number 33, Jason Kestor. At left defense, a senior from Nebony, Ontario. He's the captain, number 10, Curtis Leonard. At right defense, a freshman from Oakville, Ontario, number 19, Michael Prepovesis. The starting forward line for the Engineers. At left wing, a freshman from Stockholm, Sweden, number 12, Victor Lilgagren. At center, a junior from Banska Bystrica, Slovakia, number 17, Miloš Bubila. And at right wing, a senior from Toronto, Ontario, number 21, Mark McGowan. And the rest of the Engineers, their head coach is Seth Appert. Assistant coaches are Brian Vines and Nolan Graham. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as the RPI Pep Band will play the National Anthem of Canada. Now, Rensselaer's Rusty Pipes will sing the national anthem of the United States of America.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Rensselaer's Rusty Pipes.
There's an ECAC play at the Gary along with Perry Lascaris, bringing you all the action on your home for Virginia Hockey, 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Great rendition of the Star Spangled Banner there by the Rusty Pipes, one of the a cappella groups here on campus. Before we get started with the first period of play, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI men's and women's ice hockey, football, and baseball. Also like to remind you, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Port your browser to www.wrpi.org, and you can hear our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as we are broadcasting, we provide that broadcast for you on the internet feed. Once again, that is www.wrpi.org. Also remember, WRPI is seeking current RPI students to make live calls of games such as this one here between RPI and Princeton. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for both men's and women's ice hockey and baseball if you so choose. If interested, choose an email at wrpi.sports@rpi.edu.
Getting set for puck drop here, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Paris Garris, Edgar Gary, and the puck chopped to the far side of the neutral zone. The Engineers get it deep. It'll be chased down by Princeton here. Now to the near side, it's Brockett trying to move it out to center. Kept in by Leonard, who had pinched all the way up the wall. He'll work it down low for Victor Liljegren. Liljegren in the corner. He's being watched there by Joe Grabowski, taken off the boards and carried out by Liao. Moving it out to center. Brockett had a stick on it. Swatted back the other way by Liljegren. It's McGowan into the zone. He gets wrapped up along the near side. Cycle it for Liljegren. Trying to walk it in front. Good poke check there by Liao. Jonathan Liao, the junior from Burbank, California, knocked it free. Goes behind the net again. Now it's going to be Liljegren trying to use that body, leaning into the defender, trying to stuff it in front. And it will be Tucker Brockett to move it out to center. He takes a hit there from Parker Reno, but stays on the puck. Centering pass in front. A shot coming off the post. A great chance early on there, just off the bench. That was number 22, Ben Foster, with the opportunity, but he rang it off the right side post and out of there. So Princeton with a good chance there. Parker Reno finished his hit on Brockett, but Brockett got the puck away. Into the zone now. Here comes Ciro. He gets the puck to the center of the ice, but it's cleared out to center by the Engineers. Backing up to his own zone is Ave. Aaron Ave, senior from Chandler, Arizona, works it deep into RPI territory. It's tapped deep. Craig Boken for the junior. Gets it ahead to Melanson. Melanson for Miller. Miller chips it deep. He'll try and chase it down himself. Mark Miller into the corner. Behind for Nanny. Nanny throws it into the skates of one of the referees here. It's moved out to Melanson on the far side. Back to the point. Leonard a shot. Didn't have a lot on it. It was wristed. May have been headed wide, but Finney gloved it anyway.
Yeah, Finney gloved it down. One, obviously, the bad thing about injuries is some of your top guys aren't playing. But one good thing, people that don't normally get ice time get the ice time and get experience. That time it almost backfired there in RPI, as they may not have the ice vision of people coming off the bench and what man to pick up. And Princeton Unfortunately for RPI, hitting the post.
Puck drop, spun in front of the Princeton goal, played wide by Finney, kept in by Schrader at the far point. Goes below the goal line, now carried behind the net. Princeton trying to break out here near side. They get it as far as center ice. Shot in by Hollisey, and now back out to center by the Engineers. Turned back in by Tommy Davis. Davis will now carry 3-on-2 to the RPI line. Centering pass broken up by Prapavesis. Second try comes all the way through the circle. It'll be picked up by Hollisey near side corner. He's tied up by Leonard. Schrader will play in front for Prapavesis. Mike Prapavesis ahead, trying to find Jake Wood. Had a little bit of trouble controlling the puck, leaves it off the boards, then gets dumped. Engineers do get it deep. It's Prapavesis who will chase. There's a penalty coming up here on Princeton. Might have been for a bit of a high hit. It's going to be a boarding call. It'll go on the Tigers here just 2 minutes and 27 seconds into the first period.
Yeah, and Prapavesis going through the zone and just had the puck and he couldn't get all of it. And the reason he couldn't get all of it was because of a boarding penalty on Princeton's Connor McLaren, 6'2" freshman out of Metcalfe, Ontario. But he will go into the box to sit for 2 minutes on a boarding call. 17:33 left to play in the first, no score.
Engineers 3 for 33 on the power play. That's 9.1%. As they'll set things up, near side point is Leonard. Far side Prapavesis. Prapavesis to the near side circle for Melanson. Now he's kind of filling the spot Matt Neal was taking on this power play unit. We'll see how he and this unit are able to adapt without Matt Neal out there. Here's Prapavesis now near point, walking in, top of the circle, cross ice feed. Another pass from Melanson, a tight angle shot off the pad of Finney. Good puck movement there by the Engineers. They actually put themselves in a tougher spot than they needed to. That was a real tight angle shot from Melanson. He did a good job to get the shot on goal. Prapavesis, far side now. He's tied up a bit in the far side by Brockett. Into the corner they go. It's Nanny. He's tied up. He looks to cycle for Melanson. Melanson spins away from a check into the near corner. Played it back to the point, but there's nobody there. A chance to break shorthanded here for Princeton. Castleman into the zone. His shot looking for that top left corner. Rattles off the glass and out of the zone. Back out to center it goes. Picked up by Brockett. Backhands it back into the RPI end. Under a minute to go on the RPI power play. 6.5 to go. First period, no score here from the Houston Fieldhouse. As the Engineers and Princeton Tigers go at it here. Princeton 1-1 in league play. They beat Cornell and lost to Colgate both by, well, the Colgate loss was by a pretty wide margin. They beat Cornell 2-1. Picked up below the goal line. Davis trying to clear. Kept in for a second. Now moved out. Good poke check at the line. Engineers keep it in the zone. Backing up far side. Bourbonnais. Centering pass. Bobella couldn't get the shot away. His stick was tied up at the time. Drop pass to the far side for Bourbonnais. Centering pass. Bobella one-timer. He half fanned on it. Comes free to the near corner. Wilson behind with 23 to go on the power play. Wilson in the corner. He'll back it up top. Hampton, a slapper. Through traffic. Takes a deflection and goes wide into the near side. Clearing attempt by the Tigers. It got by Skirbick and all the way down the ice. Here's Jacob Liberté, off to a bit of a slow start for him. Just 1 point so far in 10 games for Jacob. As the Engineers will break one more time on the power play. 2 seconds, one. It's over, but the Engineers get it deep. Picked up in the near corner by Davis. So working around far side of their own end. And now out to center. Stick handling through center and into the RPI zone. It's Ciro. Drop pass to the point. Nelson far side. They work it to the circle. Bad shot was way wide behind the goal. And Wilson will chop it out of the zone all the way down. It will be icing on the Engineers. 15:08 to go, first period, no score.
Yeah, you mentioned great pressure by RPI on that power play. Drew Melanson taking a wide angle shot and just putting off the pad of Finney. Didn't really have anywhere to go. Finney just stood in the crease and let it hit his pad. I thought there should have been a shot earlier on that power play.
Bouncing puck far side of the RPI zone. Parker Reno half fanned on it. Tigers move it back to the point. Ave, shot save, rebound put wide on the try by Max Becker. Now a shot from the bottom of the far circle and a save by Kasdorf. Thrown to the top of the crease again, picked up far point. Ave, his centering pass is deflected, comes free to the near side corner. Miller puts a hit into his man. Reno works it around far side boards. Chopped at by Bourbonnais, couldn't get it out. Near side Nelson, wrist shot coming. That hit a body in front. It looked like it hit a Princeton player. It hit Michael Zajac in front of the goal, the junior from Eagan, Minnesota. And it's back out to Princeton territory, but the Tigers have just a little bit of the better of the play here early on. We're about 5.5 in. They've definitely created the better of the scoring opportunities, even with RPI having the power play. Here's Leonard into the zone, chipping it deep. First one there is Schrader. Backhander off the base of the net. He was looking for Nanny. Now back to the point, Prapavesis. Back for Nanny. He'll cycle it, looking for Schrader. Engineers trying this group out. This is the game-winning group from last Saturday with Schrader, Nanny, and Melanson. Or it may have been Miller. Either way, kind of mixing things up, and they kind of have to with Neal out of the lineup and your extra skater, guy who DeVito didn't know if he was going to play right away. He was the extra man in warm-ups. He's out there.
And, you know, this is an opportunity for him to step up. I mentioned earlier, injuries take your guys away. There's an opportunity for someone to step up, and if he could do that, it'd be good for RPI. No score RPI. Princeton, 13:57 left to play in the first.
Prapavesis to the far side point. His shot was blocked. Way to get in the way. That was Kesselman got his skate in there. At the point, now Fulton trying to wrap around. He couldn't quite get all the way around it, put it wide. Prapavesis pinches up the wall, poked at into the corner by Wood. Jake Wood spinning there, trying to get away from the defensive work of Poppy. All the way out to the point. Wrist shot deflects up into the air. It'll come down to the near side boards. Prapavesis keeps it in once again. Jake Wood looking behind. DeVito, not intentionally, but it deflected it out in front. Went to a dangerous area. Fulton couldn't get a stick on it. Now Fulton in the slot takes a wrist shot. Save on the glove by Finney, and who holds on there. This is about as small a line as you're going to see out there for RPI with DeVito, Wood, and Fulton. Doesn't get much shorter than that, but they were cycling the puck well and showing some good presence in the offensive end.
Yeah, and a great move by Fulton there on that shot. Sort of pulled it back from his backhand to get an open lane and just put it right under Finney's glove. No score RPI. Princeton, 13:22 left to play in the first.
Tap it back to the point. Another offensive zone faceoff win for RPI. They've done a good job of that so far here early on. Bokenfour carries it all the way down low. Now Bubella tries to work it off the boards. Poked into the corner by the long reach of Finney, the goaltender. Now Grabowski, chance to clear, gets it all the way out. Bouncing puck into RPI territory, comes down in the slot. Hampton will sweep it away out to center. Touch pass into the middle of the ice, intercepted and carried back in by Ciro. He gets just across the line. He stopped up there. Little backhand saucer pass near side center ice for Victor Liljegren. Liljegren into the zone. McGowan chases. First one to it is Davis. And now Grabowski moves it to center. Ciro all the way ahead. Too far for the intended target. And Parker Reno will spin around in the near circle of his own zone. Cross ice pass. Bubella feeds it on. McGowan with some space. Walking in. McGowan pulled it back. Now Bubella in the circle. He's tied up. And softly cleared out to center by the Tigers. Wilson ahead for McGowan. Quickly, the Engineers trying to get back into the zone in a hurry. It's tied up along the half wall near side of the Princeton zone. There are 3 Tigers there and 2 Engineers. Shots are 2-2 here, 12-12 to go first period. No score from the Houston Fieldhouse. Spinning around in the near corner of his own zone is Connor McLaren. He gets it out to center. That comes off the skate of Wilson. Trying to turn it back around. The Tigers are offside. We'll have a whistle here.
Yeah, and you know, RPI settling down a little bit. They're winning the faceoffs, getting the majority of chances in the offensive zone. I think Princeton had the majority of the quality shots, but RPI is spending the majority of the time in the Princeton zone. No score RPI in Princeton here in the first period.
Princeton off the neutral zone faceoff, gets it deep. Wilson tries to work it up the near side from Melanson. Goes by him. They wave off the icing very early on. It doesn't even get down the ice there. Now a turnover there for RPI, picking off Melanson. A shot looking for the top corner. And he rang it all the way out of the zone. That's what happens if you miss high from there, where he did right around that near side circle. It'll a lot of times leave the zone and head back down to your own end. That's what it did. Engineers now battling for it. Far side of their own zone, wraps around to the near side corner. Melanson, outlet pass connects there to Miller. Miller gets it deep. Nanny's going to try and chase it down. Has to try to get by Poppy. They take opposite routes around the net. Poppy does get there first, and now he'll clear it to the blue line. Kept in by the Engineers. Melanson, he'll skate below the goal line. Centering pass. One-timer. Miller scores! What a shot by Mark Miller! I don't think the goaltender Finney saw it. It was right over his shoulder. He didn't react.
No, it was sort of a bang-bang play. It was kept in by Curtis Leonard on the line, on the blue line. A nice job by him. And then Drew Melanson picked it up, got some speed in his zone. Saw Mark Miller again with eyes in the back of his head. And RPI seems to be going high glove side against Finney. They seem to notice something about that, and that's exactly where that puck was. High glove side. A nice place shot by Mark Miller.
Certainly an unintentional screen for the Princeton defender, because Finney, zero reaction to that quick snapshot, maybe even through the legs of the defender. As we're back to action here, 3-on-2 for Princeton down low. They work it inside, a save by Kasdorf, and he kicked it to the corner. Big time stop there as Princeton tried to answer, but Jason Kasdorf stuck with his man driving the net. That was Brockett, who got all the way into the goal to the net, and he tried to go forehand, backhand around Kasdorf, and the junior netminder was having none of it. Now Wood into the zone. Shot from the high slot area, blockered into the corner. La Liberté will cycle for Wood. Wood getting shoved up against the wall there by Tommy Davis. The goal for Miller is the second of the year. That's pulled out by Schrader to the point. One-timer Bokenfour. That one goes wide. Bokenfour just off the bench. Now Hampton far side fans on it. Shot by Schrader is blocked. He gets back on the puck. Into the circle he goes. Poked away by the Tigers. And now moved back out to center. It's Brockett. Brockett carrying. Lost it on the stick handle. Bokenfour shoots it back the other way. It'll be picked up by Wood. Top of the circle. Couldn't quite control. Throws one wide of the net. It will rattle around to the far side point. Chipped out to center by the Tigers. Carried along into the zone by Foster. He gets tied up by Bokenfour. Puck comes free to the far side. Bokenfour gets back on it. Scooping it towards the point. It's knocked down there. Top of the circle. Shot saved by Kasdorf. Rebound comes free. Loose at the side of the cage. Wraparound try. Throw it in front and they score. A goal for the Tigers. The net was coming off. I believe this is going to stand with the new rules. Phil Hampton lying in the crease. So was Kasdorf. Fans aren't going to like the call, but unless they determine goalie interference here, that goal is going to stand up.
Yeah, I believe this goal is going to stand up. We'll see what happened on the replay. RPI couldn't clear it out. And Kasdorf made the initial save. Thought he had it covered. It clearly did not. Puck came off. There was an RPI guy lying in the crease.
That was Hampton.
And it was Hampton who knocked the net off. So I believe this is going to be a goal, a good goal. So this game will stay tied at 1.
If this was a few years ago, though, as soon as that net comes off, the play is over. But they determined that the net, despite it being off its mooring, is going to be a good goal if the net was where it was when the shot came. And clearly the net was moving away from that post. There's no possible way it could have moved away from where the puck was shot. That was probably not as clear as I could have been there. Wow.
No, they waved it off. They waved it off. They said no goal.
Well, I'm gonna need a.
They say then. I don't know about that.
Well, okay, but it was at least 2 years ago they changed that rule,
the
right?
net did clearly come off before the puck crossed the line, but that should have been a good goal as the shot was taken before the net came off.
And even if it's not, I believe they changed that rule where if the puck would have gone in when the shot was taken, they're supposed to let play carry on and count the goal. Well, RPI fans are happy. I'm sure Princeton fans are fuming, but we have a 1-0 lead for RPI still. Yes,
still 1-0. The official goal was Mark Miller from Drew Melanson and Curtis Leonard to make it 1-0. And then Princeton had scored, but they waved the goal off. 9:43 left to play in the first. 1-0 RPI.
Draw in the RPI zone. One back to the point. Nelson shot sticked away by Kasdorf. Popped in the air to the far circle. Helped towards the point by Reno. And into the skates of Babella. He tried to work on further for Liljegren, but couldn't control. Tigers back on it. It's Ave. Near side for Ciro, trying to get around Wilson. Ciro in the corner. He and Wilson go into it. Wilson shoves him into the wall. Puck comes free to the bottom of the circle. Now back behind the goal, Babella. Parker Reno on it, the sophomore for the Engineers. Edina, Minnesota, gets it ahead. And all the way down to Victor Liljegren. Hometown of Stockholm, Sweden for Liljegren. There's a shot from the tight angle there along the boards by Wilson. Is sticked over the net, over the glass, I should say, by Finney. And we'll have a face-off coming in the Princeton zone. 1-0 Engineers, 9:05 left in the first period.
So, yeah, 9:05 in the first, 1-0 RPI, and a beautiful one-timer shot from Mark Miller to put RPI up 1-0.
Face-off worked back towards the point. Prapaves is pinching in, keeps it alive in the zone. Walking off the boards now in the backhand. Fulton fires it off a skate. Bourbonnais couldn't control. Princeton carries out to center. Moved into the zone by the Tigers. It's Pompey getting deep with it. Back towards the point, looking for the deflection. Goes way wide in the try there by Sabo. Now a penalty upcoming on the Tigers here as Bourbonnais was upended in the far side of the neutral zone. And the Engineers are going back on the man advantage here. It's going to be a trip. The second power play chance for the Engineers coming up here. They're 0 for 1.
It's going to be a clear trip as Bourbonnais would have had a breakaway. 2-on-1, maybe a breakaway if he wasn't tripped up in the neutral zone. And again, Quinn Pompey going to the box, the sophomore from Springfield, Pennsylvania. 8:39 left to play in the first, 1-0 RPI.
RPI winning the draw, work it back to the point. Hampton, near point Wilson. Feeding it towards goal, hit a skate. Pobella controls. Now far point again. Hampton has some room. Takes a shot, looking for the deflection. La Liberté was crashing the net, but it never got to Finney. And it's cleared all the way down. Kasdorf will stop it up there, near side of his own zone. Hampton to go behind the net with it. Phil Hampton carries, the junior from Oakville, Ontario. The Engineers get it deep. Poked at by La Liberté behind the goal. Babella stick handling, comes free to the circle. Babella, one-timer coming, Wilson scores! A drive from the slot, and there was no one around him. Wilson had the second of the year.
Yeah, again, Bubella coming around the net, trying for the one-timer, couldn't get control of the puck. But fortunately for Milos, Jared Wilson was pinching down, and he kept the puck right in. And La Liberté picked it up, gave it to Wilson, and Wilson just one-timed it in the net. Again, they went glove side. Not as high as the Miller goal, but it was still glove side. 8:06 left to play in the first, 2-0 RPI.
So the freshman Wilson, Jared Wilson from Calgary, Alberta, now a chance again for Princeton right after the RPI goal. They've gone right down the ice and had near chances. That time they never got the shot away. And now Leonard will skate it back the other direction, getting it deep. Here's Melanson trying to center it, and he couldn't quite control it. Leonard pinching up the boards again. The Engineers defensemen have done a good job so far this evening and just keeping the attack going with the board play in the offensive zone. 7.5 to go in the first. It's 2-0 RPI. Assists on that Wilson goal are to La Liberté and Milos Babella. So Jacob talked to him not too long ago, saying a little bit of a slow start, just the one assist so far. He picks up an assist on RPI's second goal.
Yeah, and again, RPI, they come out, they are controlling play thus far. Princeton did have some quality shots, yes, but the majority of the time it's been in the Princeton zone. And RPI is just taking advantage of it. 2-0 RPI over Princeton, 7:25 left to play in the first.
Shots are 7-5 Engineers. Defensive zone draw won by RPI. Bokenfour off the back wall. Over for Hampton. Good forecheck pressure by the Tigers. Works it free. Towards the point. Intercepted by La Liberté. A partial break for him. Walking in on the backhand. Flips it over the top. He had a man on his hip. It was Michael Zajac back-checking, and he did a pretty good job of keeping La Liberté to only one option there. Was to go backhand high, and he put it over the top of the net. La Liberté now in the corner. Getting worked over a bit there. They go behind for Quinn Pompey. Now a centering pass. Schrader couldn't quite haul it in to the point for Bokenfour. His wrist shot saved. Rebound Schrader. Couldn't put it on. Trying to stuff it home. Pops through the crease in the air. It'll be kept in by the Engineers. Bokenfour, a slapper, deflects on goal. Finney swats it away. It's been a barrage of opportunities here for RPI recently as the puck left the zone. Hampton will shoot it back in. Picked up by the Tigers. They'll move it out. It's Pompey. Deflected over the RPI blue line, picked up by Liljegren. He'll go cross-ice, far side on the saucer pass for Hampton. Hampton up the wall for McGowan, tipped into the zone to avoid the icing. Tommy Davis for Princeton, works it far side. Grabowski gets it out to center. And now a near side pass for Liao. He had to go back and get it. He'll have to dump in. Liljegren, center ice of his own zone, makes a move. It's actually a handoff from McGowan. Near side for Wilson. Wilson into the zone, throws it into the middle. Davis has a little bit of trouble handling that. Finney flips it to the far side corner, hits a body. Picked up by Brock, and he'll chip it off the glass. Bouncing puck towards the point, kept in by the skate of Reno. Engineers keep it alive in the zone. Liljegren backhanding in front. Looking for McGowan. It's swept away by the sliding defensive effort by Grabowski. Far side corner now. Kesselman had it knocked off his stick. He'll get back on it behind the goal. 5:40 to go in the first period. 2-0 Engineers leading, and the first period hasn't been good for Princeton so far this year. They've given up 6 goals and scored just 2. So RPI looking for the fast start, which they haven't gotten a whole lot this year. Picked up at the point, kept in by Prapavesis. He gets it deep. Fulton. He gets dumped behind the goal. Penalty coming up here. It was a bad hit and a cross-check, potentially a boarding. Well, another boarding call is going to go on the Tigers here. Third power play chance upcoming for the Engineers. They're 1 for 2.
5:18 left to play in the first. 2-0 RPI over Princeton. Official call is going to be interference, actually.
Okay.
So it could have been either one of them, interference, boarding, or cross-check. They chose the interference. Joe Grabowski, the freshman defender from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, goes into the penalty box. 2-0 RPI over Princeton.
Face-off upcoming near side of the Princeton zone. Back to the far point. Hampton faked a shot, walks in, takes the shot, saved by Finney. To the far corner it goes. Nelson trying to clear it around the near point. Wilson keeps it in for a second. And now it's once again kept in. No. Babella just across the line. And we'll have a face-off coming outside the Princeton end here.
So 5:04 left to play in the first. Shots 11-5 in favor of RPI. 1:45 left to go in the power play. RPI with a 2-0 lead here at the Fieldhouse.
RPI wins the draw. Back to Wilson, far side Hampton. Trying to play it up the boards, knocked down by Brockett. Engineers will move back into their own end. Wilson again. Through center, connects to Bourbonnais. Far side circle, Babella, a slapper, and that one clanged off of something, may have gotten the goaltender. Most likely did get Finney, but he kept it out of the net. Now Wilson at the point. He'll take another drive that heads wide. Caroms around to the far side boards for La Liberté. Back to Hampton, who just keeps it alive for a second. Cleared off the leg of Wilson. Moved back out to center by Kesselman. Penalty coming up here on RPI as Kesselman was dumped right at the RPI blue line. So the remaining 104 of RPI's power play going to go by the wayside.
Going to get an interference call with 4:21 left to play in the first. RPI with the 2-0 lead over Princeton. And Jared Wilson going to the penalty box for RPI for 2 minutes. So 1:03 of 4-on-4 as Perry mentioned. And then Princeton will get a power play.
Update from women's hockey. They're nearing the end of the first period in Quinnipiac. It's 1-0 to the Bobcats, number 5 in the country. RPI women on the road here this weekend at Quinnipiac and Princeton. 4-on-4 hockey. The puck is moved out to center. Tigers have it far side. It's going to be Tommy Davis sweeping it into the zone. It'll come down to the near side corner. Poked at by Leonard. Helped out of the zone by the Engineers. That was Nanny. Back to get it is Foster. He spins around far side neutral zone. Carries in now to the high slot. He handed off for Eric Robinson. Robinson deep. Prapavesis back to get it for RPI below the goal line. Good touch pass ahead. Engineers will skate it out to center. Melanson with Nanny into the zone 2-on-2. Melanson flipping it into the corner. Nanny will chase it down. 20 seconds left to 4-on-4 here. 3:35 to go in the first period. There's a collision along the far side boards. The fans react to that. Bokenfour back up top. Parker Reno down low for Melanson. Melanson will cycle. Bokenfour again. Centering pass looking for Nanny. He was on his backhand. Couldn't quite control. Now working around is Reno in the near side circle. Working in front. Backhander by Nanny. It'll be gloved by Finney. Good little two-man work down low for RPI. First it was Melanson and Nanny. Then it was Bokenfour and Nanny. But they created a couple opportunities there 4-on-4.
Yeah, I like Bokenfour pinching down. He gets that big body in front of the net or behind the net near RPI. And then RPI needs that big reach. 51 seconds remains in the Princeton penalty power play rather. 3:12 left to play in the first. 2-0 RPI.
So a power play, as Ed mentioned, for about 50 seconds here. As the Engineers win the draw and get it deep, they'll be able to set up the PK and thus the power play set up by Pompey and the Tigers. Liao tap it deep into RPI territory. Kesselman chases after it. He's run into by Prapavesis, trying to work it free. Liao gets stripped of the puck, and the Engineers have it. McGowan, a chance to look up ice, flips it high in the air. It'll come bouncing down on goal, and Finney will just steer it into the left corner. Starting things out once again, Quinn Pompey, far side. Grabowski had to hit a body, or make it Ave rather. Ave shoots it into the zone. It'll be chased down behind the goal line by Hampton. His clearing attempt down the middle just gets by the diving attempt of Ave. Shot back in by Pompey. Out of the box comes Wilson. Back to 5 aside here. With 2:15 to go first period, a fast-moving first in which the Engineers have scored a couple of goals. Good poke check at the blue line. That'll force RPI offside here. Whistle coming on that play.
Yeah, RPI offsides as they try to get some offense going, and there was a tip out and touched by an RPI player outside of the zone, and unintentional offsides. 2:10 left to play in the first. 2-0 RPI.
Neutral zone draw won by the Tigers. Grabowski up the far side boards. Good shoulder check thrown there by Reno. DeVito back to get it in his own zone far corner. He'll work it behind for Wilson rather. Wilson scored RPI's second goal, just one-hands it towards the high slot. There's a giveaway. Skating in front with it is Davis. Shot and save there. Comes free to the near side corner. They'll cycle. Hollisey behind the goal line. Wilson battling for it with him. And it'll be played out in front. One-timer coming. The shot goes wide. Rebound. And the net comes off as Kasdorf kicked it off. The shot was going to come from right along the goal line but the whistle comes after the net came off its mooring.
Again, we see that a lot with Kazov. We actually saw it earlier when the net came off and the Princeton goal was waved off. I don't think, Kazdor's not obviously doing it intentionally. He just has great positioning.
Yeah, you have to get to that post.
And when he goes to make that save, he just, his good positioning knocks the net off. 1:34 left to play in the first. RPI 2, Princeton 0.
Face-off coming in a RPI centerman tossed. It was DeVito, so now Fulton takes. Pushes it forward. Princeton has it in the slot. Shot was blocked there in the attempt by Becker. Now a near side point tries up into the netting. We'll have a stoppage here. Face-off coming in the RPI zone. 1:26 to go in the first period. Engineers still on top 2-0.
Yeah, and Princeton, they're starting to win face-offs, starting to control, starting to get shots, but Kasdorf has been equal to the task this late in the first period. So RPI just has to try to weather the storm here.
Engineers trying to carry out of the zone. Schrader couldn't do so. Shot from the near side circle by Zajac goes well wide. Kept in far point by Ave. Down low, Engineers will try to scoop it in the air this time. Looking for Schrader. Can't get it out again. Leonard puts a hit into Zajac. RPI will try the far side now. Prapavesis trying to clear. They run into challenge there. A shot goes over the top and into the netting. It was Wood who couldn't get the puck off his stick on the clearing effort, and that allows Princeton another opportunity, another chance in the offensive zone.
Yeah, and it hit Kasdorf, and it just went up into the netting, so that's why the puck will be in the RPI zone. 1:01 left to play in the first. 2-0 RPI over Princeton.
Face-off coming to the right of Kasdorf. Puck goes behind the net. Leonard up the glass and can't get it out of the zone. Chopping at it was Liljegren. RPI back to their own end. Prapavesis now out to center. A chance for Babella. Has McGowan in front of him. McGowan to the net. He's tied up and couldn't get the shot away. To the near corner it goes. Tie up there, Liljegren with Foster. And now Foster's going to come away with it, backhanding it up the wall for Robinson. Robinson gets a shove from Leonard. Liljegren has it below the goal line with 33 seconds to go in the period. Now out to center. Babella lost his stick for a second. Grabowski leaves the charge the other direction. Into the RPI zone. Far side circle. Centering pass. Saved by Kasdorf point blank. On a try by Grabowski, who has gotten deep into the offensive end there, the defenseman. RPI will get it back into the zone. Nelson back to claim it for the Tigers. Long outlet pass, trying to catch the Engineers changing. Hampton has it all bottled up. Melanson carries in with 6. He runs into Grabowski in the far side corner, trying to peel it off the wall with 2. Chopped out to center with 1. And that's where the first period will end. The Engineers with a 14-7 advantage in shots on goal, and they're up 2-0 over the Tigers after 1.
Great period of hockey for RPI. They came out, they really controlled the play. They got 2 goals to show for it, a 5-on-5 equal strength goal by Mark Miller, and then a power play goal by Jared Wilson to make it the 2-0. And then RPI getting a little lucky by having the Princeton goal waved off just after they had scored the go-ahead goal. So, 12 saves for Finney, 6 saves for Kasdorf in that first period. So that's indicative of how the play went.
Engineers, an important stat to remember here. RPI came in just averaging 22.3 shots per game. That's per game. They already have 14 in one period. So that's a good sign for RPI, who's looking to generate a few more things offensively.
Yeah, and thus far they have. It could very easily be 3-4-0 in favor of RPI right now. They're just Princeton is doing a good job getting in the lanes. They seem to have noticed something going high glove side on Finney, and that's where both goals have come thus far. So we're going to take a break. We'll be joined by Colonel Jim Knowlton for RPI to discuss a historical event.
I'm here with Mark Miller of the RPI Engineers, who scored the first goal of the game. Mark, can you tell me what was going through your head during that goal?
Just Melly made a great play there. He was bringing the puck wide, found me high, and I just got a 1-T there. I was in the right spot at the right time.
All right. With a 2-0 lead going into the second, what do you think the strategy will be heading into this next period?
We just have to keep working them down low and clean up some things in our D zone, not allow them to get anything, and just keep working. Keep working, like I said.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much for your time. That was Mark Miller. You're watching our Engineers Hockey on RPI TV.
Victory class of 2018 has 3 chances to make a shot in the open net to win a $50 gift card to Moe's, sponsored by the class of 2018. Congratulations. Here we go, Austin. Let's put it in the net. He gets 2 more tries. That one's a bit wide. He scores. Austin wins a $50 gift card to Moe's, sponsored by the class of 28. Thank you, Austin. Thanks to the class of 2018. And now direct your attention to the west end of the field house. It's time to give away some money. Inside the SEFQ money machine, we have $1,000 in cash. Jasmine Mullins will have 30 seconds to grab as much as she can as it floats around inside that SEFQ money machine. Remember, for all your banking, insurance, investment needs, visit SEFQ, Houston Street in Troy. We're on campus at the Rensselaer U. Let's load it up with cash. Jasmine, enter the booth. And let's start the SEFQ money machine money grab.
Draw a cross arc.
Everybody, RPI here with the RPI Athletic Director, Jim Knowlton. And last Monday we were having a little bit of a chat, and you said, 25 years ago, I didn't realize it was then, but you were actually there at the Berlin Wall when it went down. What was that experience like, just that part of it when it was all kind of happening for you?
It was crazy. I had been in Berlin for a couple of years. I was the aide-de-camp for the commander of Berlin. And the night that it happened, it really happened by accident. And we didn't figure that out until the next morning when we talked to Peter Jennings. But one of the Politburo lower-level leaders was doing a press conference, and someone handed him a paper, and he said, wow, we're going to relax the restrictions at the border. People couldn't believe it. They started lining up at the border, and the next thing you know, the wall was down. So it was a crazy day, and I went home and ate dinner about 11 o'clock that night and decided that I couldn't go to bed, and went down and spent the rest of the night down standing on the wall in front of the Brandenburg Gate.
So you had to go down, you couldn't go down in uniform, right? You had to go down wearing civilian clothes,
nope.
wherever you had to have.
Put on my German garb, so I blended in, and there it was. Get down to the Brandenburg Gate. It was pandemonium, and the checkpoint Charlie was open, and cars were coming through, and it was an exciting night.
Now, Jim, you have a piece of the wall. You have a few pieces in your possession,
I
right?
do, yes.
But you have one here with you. So we're going to, for folks on RPI TV, you're going to get a chance to see this. So, Jim, go ahead and pull that out for us.
So this is a piece of the wall, and what's interesting is the wall was perfectly clean on one side, and that was the side that faced East Berlin. And because they had border guards that shot anybody that got close to the wall, it always stayed very clean. And on the other side, you can see there was different paint, and there was always graffiti and people writing on it and talking about take down the wall and free the people. And so this is a smaller section, a lot thinner than in other places. This was down near Steinstücken, but the wall varied in different widths.
So how long were you in Germany, before and after this went down?
I was stationed in Germany starting in 1983, and I was there in West Germany for 3.5 years. I went back for 6 months, and then came back in 87 and was there till 90. And in 89, November was when the wall actually fell.
Yeah, that's a very, very. You can obviously you tell your kids about it. You're telling us about it now.
Yep.
But that kind of led you to. You were already in the Army. You went to West Point.
Correct.
And then you played hockey there, of course.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that's really a remarkable kind of story there.
It really was. Yeah. No, it was an exciting time, and I think that people didn't realize the monumental impact that was going to have. And each day that went past, people realized, wow, we're really opening the wall for the first time since 1961. And we stood on the Galenica Brücke, which if you watch spy movies is where they exchange spies. And we stood on there when they first opened it, and people got to realize freedom from that area of East Berlin. People crying. We were in uniform, and they said, boy, thank you very much. We would have never had this opportunity if the Americans and the French and the British hadn't stayed the course and kept the pressure on to open the wall.
That's awesome. Let's switch gears just a bit, because I know you love RPI hockey.
Yes.
You come up to as many games as you're here for. What do you think of this year's team? It's a little bit different than years past. It seems like every year is a little bit different.
I think it's an exciting team, and I think that we're a young team. We've got great leaders, though. We've got some good senior leadership, and I think that we're going to be a little bit inconsistent, early on in the year, and I think we've seen that. A couple games against Bentley where you start to wonder what's happening, and then we beat the number 2 team in the country and the national champs 2 games, and then And then we lost to Harvard, and people were wondering, wow, how good is Harvard? And then you see that Harvard beat BC 6-3 this week, and you say, well, 11 draft picks, they're a darn good team. So I think we're right where we want to be, and I think that we keep getting better each game. I love the way every one of our kids are playing, and I think when we play 60 minutes with energy, we're gonna be tough for anybody to play.
And this, even with a couple of injuries that RPI's had here, it seems like the guys are stepping up, whether it be DeVito and Wood and Hampton. These guys are coming in and playing. You have 3 freshmen playing on the blue line at times this year. It seems like you have all year. It's the longest season of any sport.
Yep.
I'm sure you're familiar with that. So it's a long season. You try to get better incrementally, I guess.
And depth is important, and I think what you see is when the teams that can keep everybody involved, meaning every player, you may not be playing tonight, but you could be playing tomorrow. And if everybody is approaching practice like that, what you find is that depth is what carries you during the tough times when you do pick up a few injuries, because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. No one wants to have injuries, but when it does, if you've got that depth and players ready to play, it makes a big difference.
Jim, can we see that piece of the wall again? We hold it up to the camera here so we can get a little. This is the East Germany side here, and then wasn't very thick, was it, Jim?
Not in that area.
Not the
In the
area?
Steinstücken area, it wasn't as thick
Other
as it
side.
was in some of the other places. It was different thicknesses depending on how exposed they felt they were.
It was 25 years ago last Monday as we were talking about it, and I thought it'd be a good time with it being Veterans Day on Tuesday, kind of a decent theme to bring to our kind of webcast. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this, so it's pretty interesting. And Jim, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate sharing that bit of information in the piece of the wall here with everybody.
Perry, thanks for having me. You guys are doing a great job up here, and we appreciate all you do. Thanks.
Jim Knowlton, RPI AD, will be back with the second period here on WRPI 91.5 FM.
the RPI Pep Band. RPI would like to thank the class of 2018 and off-campus students for coming out to the game tonight. Thank you for your support. We hope you enjoyed tonight's game. And Ryan's Wake is proud to support RPI Athletics. Why not head downtown after the game and check out the new pub kitchen at Ryan's Wake.
One word to reinvent education. One word to pioneer new concepts. One word to improve lives. One heritage. One vision. One university. One word changes everything. Rensselaer.
RPI would like to thank the following sponsors: the Stadium Cafe, Rensselaer Summer Programs, Rensselaer Alumni Association, Nigro Companies, Bombers Burrito Bar, Patterson, Sampson, Ginsberg, and Griffin Law Firm, Sodexo, Subway, the Hilton Garden Inn, the Recovery Sports Grill, East Stewart Jones Law Firm, Hockey Giant, Hampton Inn and Suites, the RPI Bookstore, Rensselaer Honda, Chipotle, Domino's Pizza, United Group, Fryhoffers, Turner Construction, Saratoga Eagle Sales and Service, and National Grid, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey.
Jacob the Liberté was 2-0 to lead RPI. Michael Zajac 4-1, the best on the dot there for Princeton. Getting set to start the second period. Both teams start things off at even strength, and the Tigers win the opening draw and shoot it deep. And we have a whistle early here and an icing call on Princeton at just 6 seconds in.
Yeah, they win the face-off and they shoot it down. I guess they're trying to get their offensive going, and they're just coming off the bench and adrenaline pumping a little bit too much, and they iced the puck 2-0 RPI. 19:54 left to play in the second.
Face-off coming to the right of Finney. One back for Grabowski. Wrap it around for Davis. Davis trying to get it out near side. There's a tie up there. Puck comes free. Babella, make it Liljegren rather. Gets the shot away. Bouncing puck far circle. Parapavesis thought about spinning around in the circle. Centering pass with a one-timer shot. There's a save by Finney. Made the save. It deflected in the air, and he was able to glove it.
Yeah, RPI again getting shot, putting into Finney. Finney's letting up a lot of rebounds. And again, we saw it last week. With Dartmouth, they got the game winner off on a Schrader rebound, but home Kruger was giving up a lot of rebounds. Finney's giving up a lot of rebounds tonight as well. 19:32 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI.
Melanson far side corner, trying to turn away from the defender Nelson. Still Melanson gets some help there from Nanny. Nanny trying to dig it out. He's double teamed. There are 3 Tigers over there, and they eventually work the puck free. Skated out to center near side. Robinson poke checked off his stick by Miller. Ciro, far side center ice, knocked out of the air by Wilson. Waits for Melanson to touch up and shoots it in. Ave, near side, shot to the far side of the neutral zone, back into RPI territory. Wilson plays it up the boards. Off of Miller, back to Wilson. Bank pass behind the net. And that doesn't connect, it's broken up. Now trying to walk it out in front. A centering pass by Foster all the way through everybody. Past Poppy, now to the Princeton end. Far side, Poppy stops it up there. Shoots it off the boards and all the way down. This will be icing once again on the Tigers. Just a little bit of disconnect there a couple times here early on in the second period.
18:33 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI over Princeton. Again, face-off coming into the Princeton zone. On the ice, just a little bit too ambitious. The Tigers.
RPI just 1-5-2 in the last 8 meetings between these two teams, but a lot of goals have been scored. And many of those, of course, without Jason Kasdorf. He's playing in just his second in this all-time series. So look for RPI to bank on him to keep the pucks out of the net. The two teams averaged close to 5 goals a game when these two teams have got together over the last 8 matchups. As Princeton will win the puck battle behind the net and work it out to center ice. Chase it down in RPI territory. Skrbek trying to get there. He runs into the back wall with Bokenfor. Loose to the near side wall. RPI will move it out to center. Too far for the intended target, Schrader. Davis up the far side boards. Finding Skrbek. And the Engineers will take over again behind their own goal after the collision there. Hit hard the Liberté along the near side boards. He is slow to get up. Puck back out to center. Stick handling Nelson. Flips into the RPI zone. Stopped into the corner by Kasdorf. Puck left in the corner, right up against the Zamboni door. It'll be played behind the RPI goal for Bokenfor. Bokenfor takes a big hit that time from Ryan Berlin. Speaking of Berlin, now a centering pass is tipped into the far corner, and Hampton tries to clear. He's crunched against the boards. RPI will backhand it all the way down and take an icing here. This is that small line out there. I'm not sure what else to call them for RPI, but not a very tall group.
Presumably the Berlin on the ice for Princeton does not have a piece of the wall like Colonel Knowlton does.
No, and you're right. Go ahead.
2-0 RPI over Princeton, 17-13 left to play in the second.
Yeah, Ryan Berlin born in February 1994, so he probably doesn't know too much of it. Just a fun little coincidence here at the Houston Fieldhouse this evening. 17-13 on the clock, second period. RPI leading at 2-0 over the Princeton Tigers. There's a collision at the side of the goal. About 3 players fall down. Nothing comes of it. Puck in the near corner. Schrader digs it out of there, trying to work it up the wall. Wood backtracks a bit and could have been called for interference there with Ave as he kind of tied him up without the puck. But RPI will work it to the far side neutral zone and dump it in. It's Fulton. Behind the goal it goes. As this group, although they are small, they like to throw their bodies around, including Jake Wood. Puck in the corner now. Dug free to Bourbonnais, the side of the net. Try to feed it back out in front for DeVito. And it's chased down in the far corner by Nelson. He'll shoot it off the glass. Trying to glove it down at the point was Leonard, but it comes off his stick. Now a centering pass the other way, broken up. Turning and shooting one through the top of the crease that time was Kesselman. And now back to the near side point, poking at it Bourbonnais. He's trying to break free. If they can find him with a pass, he will, but took a little bit too long to get to him. And they in fact never do. Pompey throws it cross ice. Kesselman back to get it neutral zone, plays it back to his own end. And Princeton will start things over all the way to their own goal line, extended far side. Now near side, moved out by Pompey. Crosses center and dumps it in. It'll roll around to the far side corner. Leonard moves it to the point, kept in there. Now it comes off his skate, side of the cage. Tigers back on it. To the point once more. Near point Davis. Shot was blocked. And trying to track it down was Bourbonnais. Kept in the zone by the Tigers. Foster walking in. Walks through a stick check. Shot over the top of the net, just barely. And it'll go behind the goal. Engineers dodge another bullet. I was talking to RPI AD Jim Knowlton during the break, or actually after we got off the air, and he was saying how the Engineers dodged a couple bullets there. I agree. Engineers had a couple of chances, or Princeton, excuse me, had a couple of chances, weren't able to convert. Now RPI back the other way. Shot by Reno goes wide on the deflection. picked up far side boards and moved out of the zone by Ciro. Engineers will carry it right back in along the near side boards. McGowan. Back to claim it is Davis for Princeton. Rounds the far side, still being hounded by McGowan. He works it free and gets it deep again. Sabo up the far wall, helped out to center ice. Parkerino picks it up, and he'll move it right back into the zone. Rolling puck to the far corner. Sabo there, tied up by Liljegren and Miller. Move back to the point for Bokenfour. Picked off the board, shot coming, goes wide. Pinching up the wall is Reno. Taken back over by the defenseman Davis, sophomore from Hohokus, New Jersey. Hope I'm saying that right. Up the wall and into the zone. Stopped up by a linesman. Bokenfour has it taken away from him. Centering pass. They're looking to get it free to McLaren. Engineers trying to clear it out. Can't do so. Kept in by Nelson. Rising shot goes off the glass behind the RPI goal. Swatted at by Bokenfour. He has his man tied up. Now a hit thrown on Brockett. Puck goes behind the goal into the near corner. Connor McLaren, the freshman from Metcalfe, Ontario, gets it free. Centering pass for Skrbek. Skrbek wraps around the net. Shot saved by Kasdorf. Moved back behind by McLaren. McLaren back to the point. Ave. Far point, wrister coming. Nelson, glove saved by Kasdorf, and it looked like he saw it as he was able to stick the glove out and snare it.
Again, RPI defense looking very, very sluggish so far for the second period. You're right. RPI dodging bullets in that first. Princeton had the goal waved off. They hit the post within the first 5 minutes of the period, and just now they put it over the net. So 13:47 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI.
Defensive zone draw. The Engineers moving out to center. Melanson played it around one man, but couldn't get by the second as he was slowed up by Pompey. Near side of their own zone, now to the middle of the ice and up the boards. Poked free by Prapavesis and sent back into the zone. It comes in on goal, so Finney will have to play it to the side of the net. Tommy Davis, or make it Ave rather. Now a 3-on-2 chance for the Tigers. Little backhand flip out to the far side from Becker, and it does not connect. It'll go behind the goal. Wood wraps it back around to the far side. Melanson trying to get it out. Does so and gets it ahead to Schrader. Chance for Schrader, one-on-one with Ave. Schrader to the middle of the ice. A shot. That one deflected wide. Picked up by Schrader again, back to the point. Lots of room for Prapavesis walking and looking for the touch pass down low. He had Wood at the side of the cage. He was looking to kind of draw the attention of the goaltender Finney and find him, but the shot was, or the pass I should say, was broken up. And now Fulton spins around in the center ice logo. Near side for DeVito into the zone. Into the circle. DeVito driving the net to wrap around. Throwing in front. Stopped by Finney, and he has it covered as Fulton got dumped after the whistle. RPI fans don't like it. It was a real bang-bang play. And, of course, the Princeton defender just trying to defend their net there.
Yeah, Finney sort of knew what Fulton was going to do, and Fulton didn't fool him because Finney was sort of into his head, and I think Fulton shot the puck. It would have probably went in the net. 12:38 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI over Princeton.
Face off in the Princeton zone. Work it back to the point. Engineers trying to get it down low. It was broken up by Liao. Side wall now far side. It's Fulton. Taken away from him and carried out to center. Fulton turns it right back around to the neutral zone. Chopping it near side for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais picks it up in the bottom of the circle. Stick handles around one man. Goes behind the goal. Bourbonnais, far side circle. Feeding it back. One-timer Wilson and a pad save made by Finney. Princeton trying to clearly just lob it out to center. Bouncing puck played up the far wall by Prapavesis. Now Bourbonnais avoids the check. Picked up by Fulton. Drop past DeVito. DeVito at the circle. At the hash marks, he works it down low. Intercepted by the Tigers. They run into each other at the far circle, allowing the Engineers to keep it in the zone. Now Wilson ahead for Fulton. He didn't know it was on his skate, and it carried back the other way by Kesselman and the Tigers. In on goal as it will be worked into the near side corner. Engineers trying to break out. Up the wall, Babella. Babella stick handling to center. Has Liljegren with him. Those two connected for RPI's first goal last Saturday. Wrap around, try Babella looking for the pass in front. It hits off a stick and pops in the air to the near corner. Hampton, a shot through traffic, never got there. Picked up by Babella in the circle. Backhand pass near side corner for Liljegren. Liljegren in the corner. Takes a hit there from Sabo. He and Sabo tie up. Man goes down along the wall. Liljegren takes a hit up high. Puck out to center. 11:09 to go in the second period. 2-0 the Engineers lead. They got two in the first period. It's been a back and forth second here. Turnover neutral zone. Engineers carried ahead. Bobella into the zone. Try to make a little toe drag move around Sabo. Gets it as far as Finney, who works up the near side boards. Back into the near corner it goes as Foster is tied up with Liljegren. They'll try to play it behind the goal for Pompey. Pompey up the wall. Works it ahead for Robinson, who shoots it all the way down the ice. This will be icing as it missed the intended target there.
We'd like to remind you, you're listening to 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Ed DeGarren along with Perry Lascaris on the call for you from the new and improved press box here at RPI. 10:41 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI over Princeton.
Not too many folks get to enjoy the newness of it, but we are a couple of the folks that do. There's a shot right off the draw and a glove save by Finney. That was Loon Nanny kind of sitting in that Ryan Haggerty spot right on the top of the edge of the circle, and he got a quick shot away.
Yeah, both teams now changing lines. Nothing's going to happen again until the face-off comes in the Princeton zone. 10:38 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI.
Face-off upcoming to the right of Finney. Pushed ahead by Miller, looking to center, blockered away. It was in the air on the attempt there by Miller. Not sure if it was a shot or a pass, but Finney helped it to the far side corner. Now a cross-ice pass as Princeton looks to break out. They get it as far as center ice. It's slammed right back in by the Engineers. Far side, Miller picks it up, trying to get it past Halsey. And now out to center off the leg of Miller and all the way down the ice, so it won't be icing. Big collision behind the goal. Puck pops free to the middle of the ice. Nanny slaps it far side, kept in by the Tigers. Wrist shot comes and hits a skate in front. It hit off of Skirbeck into the corner. Behind the goal, Prapavesis throws it in front to Miller, and now Nanny will carry it out of the zone. Lou Nanny on the attack here. Far side hash mark, centering pass hit a skate. Nanny back on it to the circle. Tight angle shot there, kicked away by Finney and moved out to center by the Tigers. The Engineers piling it on in the shots department. Now 22-10 in favor of RPI. Thrown near side, chipped out to center, and controlled by Wood. Wood skates it back into the zone, and the Engineers are offside. 9:29 to go in the second period. RPI up 2-0, and Ed, RPI has already reached its average shots per game here, and we're halfway through the game, just about.
Yeah, and it's a good thing. That's what RPA has to do. Finney has given up a lot of rebounds. You never know what's going to happen. We saw it last week with Kruger and Dartmouth. 9:27 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI.
Center ice draw. The Engineers will get on it. Spinning around Wilson. Throws it through the middle all the way to Wood at the blue line. Throwing cross ice there for Fulton. Feeding in front for Schrader. Looking for the one-timer. Collision. Net comes off. Look, Finney looks to be all right. Schrader kind of went in feet first and made it kind of an awkward play there.
Yeah, and it's still dangerous when you're going feet first, of course, because you have your skate blade sticking up. But yeah, Schrader didn't mean anything by it. He just it was a good play by Schrader and the defenseman from Princeton. And unfortunately, Finney was there and he paid the price. 9:15 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI.
Yeah, you might have seen a penalty on Schrader if not for Tommy Davis right behind him, kind of helping him to the netminder. And not much Schrader could do about it at that point. Worked into the zone far side, Wilson. Chased down by Joe Grabowski, the freshman from Lawrenceville, New Jersey. Long outlet pass all the way down. Could not find the intended target, Becker. That'll force a face-off back in Princeton territory.
Again, RPI, they sort of survived the onslaught that Princeton came out within the first 9 or so minutes of the second period, and now RPI seems to have taken control back away from Princeton, putting shots in on net and keeping Princeton out of their zone. 2-0 RPI.
Comes free to the near side boards, flipped high in the air out to center by the Tigers. Hampton ahead for Schrader. Schrader into the zone, stick handling it around his man into the corner. And now it's played up the near side boards by the Tigers. Loose in the circle. Swatted that towards the point. Kept in Hampton. Down low for Schrader. Made a fake around Grabowski. Now he spins away from him. Still Schrader on the puck. Back towards the point. He looks to cycle there for the Liberté. And now Bokenfour pinching all the way below the goal line far side. Bokenfour back behind in the near corner. DeVito's going to try and get there. Takes a whack there from Pompey. And now moved out to center by the Tigers. On the move is Liao into the RPI zone. Swatted at and moved out by RPI. They head back the other way. DeVito has a man to his left. Is Fulton. Top of the circle shot. Pad save by Finney. That was an easy stop. They'll go back behind the goal. Around to the far corner. Bourbonnais to the point. Near point, Prapavesis holding. Mike Prapavesis back towards the middle, looking for the deflection. He hit DeVito, but it goes into the far corner. DeVito cycling. Off for Fulton. Fulton to the far corner now. Chipping it into the near corner. Only one there is Ryan Berlin for Princeton. He throws it dangerously in front, right to DeVito, goes behind the net with it, couldn't quite control it in front of the cage. Back to the point, Leonard. Near point, Prapavesis. Feeding it to the far side, looking for Fulton on the deflection. Didn't have a stick down. And now Bourbonnais in front, looking for another deflection, that time from DeVito. Didn't get it, but the Engineers keep it in their own. Prapavesis, a chance in front. There were two Engineers there. That was Fulton and Bourbonnais. Neither could redirect the puck past the goaltender, and the Tigers are able to clear. Prapavesis gets it back in. It'll be tracked down below the goal line by Ave. Near giveaway there, but the Tigers stay on it. As it is played behind the goal once again. Ave up the wall, out to center. McGowan hits his man. Puck comes free to the Engineers, and now Reno softly up the near side boards, looking for Babella. It'll be gloved down again at center. Engineers touch up and carry in. Babella taken away by Ave up the near side boards. And moved out to center. Here comes Foster into the RPI zone, top of the far circle. Pulls it back, takes a shot, hits off a stick, and goes just over the glass. Well, the face-off upcoming.
6:39 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI shots, 23-10. Also in favor of RPI. And the face-off will come in the RPI zone. Seems like it's been a while since it's been in the RPI zone.
Yeah, certainly feels that way. Draw coming to the left of Kasdorf. One back. Wilson will play it behind for Reno. Long outlet pass poked into the zone by Melanson. He's got speed. He'll try and track it down. It's the goaltender Finney shooting it high off the glass and out to center, where it's carried on by the Tigers. Into the zone. A little wrist shot was blocked on the attempt there by Ciro. Into the near corner they go. Now up the boards, Nanny. Pass a little behind Melanson, kicks it to himself, crosses center, and does he cross center? Dumps it in. They wave off the icing, look close to the red line. Nanny takes a bump behind the goal line, picked up in the corner by Miller. Now pushed against the boards is Nanny. Puck comes free behind the goal. Only one there is Quinn Pompey. He'll shoot it in the air out to center. From the red line, it's shot to the RPI zone, right onto the tape of Hampton. He'll carry it back the other way. Phil Hampton into the zone. Knocked off his stick. Pompey trying to stick handle. He lost it. Picked up McGowan. Tries to carry it far side of the zone. Takes a bump that time from McLaren. Picked back up by Davis. And the Tigers are able to nearly clear. Kept in by Liljegren. Liljegren walking in. A shot right on and squeezed the pads together by Finney to make the stop. It was a quick shot looking 5-hole, but Finney was equal to the task that time.
Yeah, 5:31 left to play in the second. 2-0 RPI continues to lead. I like how RPI is starting to try to take advantage of their speed with Melanson, Nanny, and Liljegren and a few others down there trying to get those breakaways and those breakaway passes. But RPI, they're gonna, this is the first time in a while they can outskate people. Those three guys I just mentioned, as well as a few others. They got to start taking advantage of that, and I like that aggressive style of play.
Still trying to fix the net. Seems to be the West End net this year. That's given problems here to the rink staff, of course, the players and officials on the ice. Puck out to center off the draw. Sent back the other way by the Engineers. McGowan gets it deep. It'll go behind the goal line, around to the far side wall, or near side wall rather. And McLaren trying to dig it out. Kept in by RPI once more. Babella in the near corner for Liljegren. His shot partially deflected, poked at by Liljegren. Babella couldn't control. He tried to take a little turnaround shot. That was denied. And now into the zone comes Skrbek. Skrbek behind the RPI goal, turned around by Prapavesis in the near side corner. He'll play it behind for Leonard. Leonard's little saucer pass to center, looking for Babella. Had Liljegren breaking, and it might have been an opportunity for RPI, but it's Princeton back the other way with Zajac. He takes a bump from Prapavesis. Now worked back to the point. Pompey a shot, sticked away by Kasdorf into the far corner. Near side effort by Berlin. That's tapped to the near side. Pinching up the wall is Pompey. And they tie up in the near side corner of the RPI zone. Here's Berlin again. He's tied up by Prapavesis. Feeding it along right to Leonard. Leonard will scoop it high in the air. Maybe a little bit too much on it. This will be icing on the Engineers with 4:07 to go in the second period. RPI still on top 2-0 on first period goals by Mark Miller and Jared Wilson, both their second of the year.
Yeah, and you know, RPI has really controlled play. Right now, Seth Abbott is going to take his timeout, but RPI has really controlled play in all facets of the game. Special teams, defensively, and offensively. A few minutes there, you know, first 5 minutes of the first period and like the first 8 or so minutes of the second. Princeton really turned on the Jets in the offense, but RPI since then has settled down, found their offense, started to try to make some plays. And really, I don't want to say they dominated the game, but the ice has been tilted towards RPI way both periods. So 4:07 remains in the second, 2-0 RPI over Princeton, and teams coming out from the timeout.
Right, RPI taking the timeout there, of course, after the icing here. 4:07 left in the second. Probably as early as we're going to see it, but still a 2-0 game, so still to be determined here, this one.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak too early, but RPI has to maintain the pressure they've been putting on Finney thus far.
2-0, a little bit uneasy at this point, especially with the chances Princeton has been getting. He'll sit on the dot, picked away by LaLiberte. Work it near side for Schrader. Schrader into the zone. Plays it around his man. Davis into the corner. Now LaLiberte has a chance to feed it in front, looking for Wood. Just sat outside the crease for a second. Just long enough. Princeton's able to clear it all the way down. Prapavesis, cross ice, connects ahead to Schrader, into the zone, drop past LaLiberte, top of the circle, into the middle for Wood. Wood feeding it back to LaLiberte. LaLiberte behind the goal, near side point. Reno a shot, that one could have gone anywhere, deflects up into the glass as Engineers defensemen are getting that extra room to just walk down below the top of the circle and take shots. That time it was Reno. Takes another one looking for the deflection from Wood, didn't get it. And it'll be moved out to center by the Tigers. Parker Reno back to get it there for RPI. He'll shoot it ahead, connects right to the line for Schrader. Schrader back for Wood, who just gets it deep. Schrader takes a couple of cracks there, comes free to the slot, moved out by the Tigers. Carry out to center. As it's Kesselman into the RPI zone. He lost the handle. Engineers back on it near side. Fulton looking for the outlet pass. Finds Bourbonnais, sweeps it into the zone, turned right back around by the Tigers and Ave. Engineers shoot it right back in. It'll be picked up by Princeton, far side of their own zone. Glove down and not kept in by the Engineers. It'll be Bourbonnais at center, poked off his stick by Kesselman. Into the zone, pull it back, take a shot, poked away by Kasdorf. The attempt wasn't on goal. The try there by Ciro. And now moving towards the blue line, can't get it out are the Engineers. Now they do in the second effort by Hampton. All the way down the ice it goes. Not enough on it for icing. Ave has it for Princeton. Ahead there for Foster. He takes a bump. Ave back on it for the Tigers. Shot from a tight angle. Save on the pad by Kasdorf. Spun around far side. Foster. Shot coming. And that one went high and wide on the effort. That time by Ciro. Back on it. Leonard behind his own goal from Miller. Miller trying to shield the puck away from Robinson. Picked back up by Bokenfour. Bokenfour pinning against the back wall. Foster has a man in front. The Engineers need to be careful. They don't find him. It was Zajac hanging out in front of the goal. Or make it Robinson rather. No, played back the other way. Melanson in the circle. Stops up there. Cross ice pass connects. Leonard at the dot, now below the goal line for Nanny. He gave it away. Breaking back the other way is Robinson. One-on-one with Prapavesis. His shot is partially blocked, goes into the corner. Prapavesis now behind his own goal line. He'll spin it around far side corner for Leonard. Prapavesis now. Near side boards, connects to McGowan. McGowan into the zone. At the hash marks, McGowan feeding it behind the goal, looking for Melanson. To the far corner it goes. He and Grabowski going to the wall. McGowan has it pinned against the far side half boards now. Clearing effort, knocked down at the point by Wilson. Bouncing puck, never left the zone. Princeton has it. Flip to center, looking for Skrbek. Engineers will turn it around. Near side boards. Liljegren into the zone. Pulls it back. Takes a shot up high. Save made. Rebound played towards the point. Engineers can't keep it in. Now Reno has to wait. That'll allow the Tigers to carry it back the other way. Skrbek into the RPI zone. He's knocked off the puck. Reno will cycle it near side of his own zone for McGowan, he takes a bump and lost it there on the hit by Zajac. Ave back to get it. Hit along the far side boards, and Zajac separated from the puck. It'll go deep. Schrader chopping at it, goes behind the goal. Prapaves is trying to track it down. Good energy here shown by Max Becker, trying to fight for the puck in the near corner with 4 seconds to go in the second. It'll roll to the far corner with 1, and that's going to do it for the second period. Engineers and Tigers scoreless in the frame, but RPI will be happy to take this 2-0 lead to the third period.
Yeah, and RPI kind of lucky. Princeton didn't get at least one in that second period. They came out early. Princeton came out early flying, and RPI sort of weathered the storm. Was back on their heels defensively, and then sort of settled down and played their own style of hockey and put their own pressure. So 12 saves in the second period for Finney, and then 5 for Kasdorf, and that was indicative of the second period as well. So,
hey fans, if you purchased a puck for the Ryan's Wake Chuck the Puck competition, let's move down near the boards. It's time to get ready to chuck your pucks in the Ryan's Wake Chuck the Puck competition. In 3, 2, 1, chuck your puck.
I'm here with Mark McGowan of the RPI Engineers. Mark, you guys had some good scoring chances this period. How do you plan on increasing those scoring chances?
We just got to keep controlling the puck in their zone. When we get a cycle going, move our feet, they can't stay with us. So we just got to keep doing that, take pucks in that, keep shooting.
All right. What do you think the general message in the locker room will be heading into the next period?
We're playing pretty well offensively, but we got to tighten up in our D zone and our back check especially. They have too many guys getting loose on the backside. On the rush, so we gotta stop their rush chances and just be strong in our own end.
All right, thank you so much for your time. That was Mark McGowan of the RPI Engineers. You're watching Engineers Hockey on RPI TV.
The puck closest to center ice wins a gift certificate to Ryan's Wake in downtown Troy. Stop down and check out their new pump kitchen after tonight's game. And Tri-City Valley Cats, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey. Rensselaer Student Union. Elsewhere in ECAC hockey tonight, late in the second period, Colgate 2, St. Lawrence 2. In Ithaca, also late in the second, Cornell and Clarkson are tied at 1. In Hanover, middle of the second period, it's Yale 3, Dartmouth 1. At the Bright Hockey Center in Allston, Massachusetts, they're through 2 periods at Harvard 4, Brown 0. And after 2 periods in Schenectady, Quinnipiac 2, Union 1. Hey kids, become a Junior Engineers Kids Club member. Experience the exciting world of RPI athletics. Kids Club member benefits include birthday parties, meet and greets, and full RPI athletic access. Log into rpiathletics.com for more information. Hey fans, last chance to get your Class of 2018 raffle ticket for a chance to win a signed jersey.
Show me how to work hard, study hard, and play hard. Show me how the value of friendships is the way to take for over 54 years. RPI is our competitive experience. I ran the mile and was very happy to run the part of that game. I feel like I've learned a lot more, but I also learned that there's so much more to learn.
For you. Before we get started with the third period of play, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute. including WRPI's coverage of RPI men's and women's hockey, football, and baseball. Also, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to www.wrpi.org. You can hear our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we're proud to broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is www.wrpi.org. Also, WRPI is seeking current RPI students to make live calls of games such as this one between RPI and Princeton. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for both men's and women's hockey and baseball if you so desire. If interested, shoot us an email at wrpi-sports@rpi.edu, and we will do our best to accommodate you. Once again, it is wrpi-sports@rpi.edu.
Getting set for the third period here in the 108th meeting between RPI and Princeton in men's hockey, dating back to January of 1952. We drop the puck here on period number 3. Moved into the RPI zone by Tommy Davis for Princeton. Gets it deep. Swung out, whacked around to the near side. Engineers trying to get it out. Can't do so. Kept it at the point. Down low, Hollisey. Back behind the goal, Prapavesis. Leonard to the middle of the ice for Rubella. He'll navigate out towards center. Flips it off the far side boards. Looking there for McGowan. Puck left behind the Princeton goal now. Backhanded around far side. Rubella runs into his man. Puck out to center as it was moved out by McLaren. Liljegren scooping it back into Princeton territory. Finney will let it rest behind his goal before it's claimed by Joe Grabowski. Grabowski skates around Miller, chips it off the glass, chased down by Wilson. He'll leave it in the far corner for Reno. Reno up the wall, further for Miller. Controlled by Grabowski, back out to center ice. Turning around there is Berlin. Over to Nelson, who backtracks into his own end near side. Cross ice pass connects. Grabowski to center for Berlin, who had to move back into his own zone, but Nelson works it further, scooped high in the air. It'll come down in the far circle of the RPI zone. Quick pass near side from Reno to Wilson, and now ahead. Center ice shot by Miller goes high and wide. And he'll be controlled by the Tigers in their own zone. Stick handling there is Liao, tried to play it far side. And Tigers will go D-to-D near side. Wilson up ahead. It'll be shot all the way down. We go behind the RPI goal. Whistle here. And icing will be called on the Tigers. Ed will join us between bites of pizza.
18:50 left to play in the third. 2-0 RPI over Princeton. I'm starving. I haven't had anything to eat all day today. So my apologies. 18:15 left to play in the third. 2-0 RPI over Princeton.
Birthday announcement for Aaron Pastor. He's the Hawaii 5-0 of Hawaii 5-0 fame. He always, or doesn't always, he used to always bring that the paddle and dance to the song when it's played for him. Engineers, the sound system folks will play the song and RPI is up 5-0. Happened a few times in recent history, but still a chance for it to happen tonight, of course. 2-0 RPI with 17:50 to go in the third period. I'm sure these fans would quite like that. Is the whistle calling a penalty. Is going to be a hooking call. Brockett was hooked on his way into the zone. The Tigers are offside anyway. The whistle's going to come here. But power play opportunity here for the Tigers.
Yeah, 17:43 left to go in the third. 2-0 RPI over Princeton. It's going to be a hooking call against RPI. It's the first one of the game. Well, the first official power play for Princeton, as they had one like 50 seconds or so earlier in the game. So.
Right, it was a half a power play.
Half power play.
Second chance here for the Tigers. Grabowski far side for Ave. Down low for Robinson. Back up top, Ave. Far circle, one-timer Grabowski saved by Kasdorf. Off the wall by Leonard. Swept out and all the way down. Mabella got just enough of it to clear the puck down the ice. Now McGowan, the first one to it. The penalty is on La Liberté. And so Princeton will start things out far side. A little bit too much pressure. They'll throw it back to their own zone. Ave will cross center and dump it in. Excuse me. Puck back out to center. Ave back on it, pressured by Babella. Gives him a whack on the arm with his stick. Now Grabowski back for Ave behind his own goal and started out down the middle. Feeding it far side, pass a little bit behind Foster, spins and dumps it across the line, hit a skate so it won't go deep into the zone. And now a stick lifted. There's a Tigers player offside, so that'll allow the Engineers to get back on the puck. It was thrown back into the zone, not realizing it there was Ciro. And now RPI shorthanded, deflected in front. It was Miller on the feed from Schrader, put it over the top. Now a cross ice pass intercepted by Bokenfour. In the neutral zone, will just push it in deep. Picked up near side half board Schrader. Schrader spinning around towards the point near side, gets dumped there by Kesselman. And it'll be Liao comes away with it for Princeton. In the slot, now top of the far circle. Down low, he finds a teammate there. Now back to Liao at the wall. Far side, looking for the deflection. Got a shot on goal. Save on the pad by Kasdorf. It's cleared down by the Engineers. 15 seconds to go on the La Liberté penalty. 15:53 now to go in the third period. It's 2-0 Engineers still as that Princeton breakout comes off the skate of Babella. Flipped back into the zone by Poppy. And now here is Prapavesis. Connects to Babella. Engineers back to full strength. Liljegren just off the bench. Helps it along from McGowan near side. He'll play it deep. Mark McGowan there. Now for Babella. Babella trying to work it back to the point. Prapavesis. Far side point. One-timer on the slap shot by Leonard. Took a little bit of a deflection and goes wide behind the goal. McGowan back on it. Walking away from the wall. Backhander goes wide. He tried to spin around and throw it past Finn. He couldn't do so. Babella towards the near side corner. Pinching in Prapavesis. He's tied up by Brockett. Now McGowan for Liljegren. Liljegren, little toe drag. Got bumped and lost the puck. And this one's going to be thrown into the stands. Well, a face-off coming here. 14:57 to go in the third. Fans wanted to lay a game, but that's not the case here in the college game. Although maybe we're going to get a too many men call.
14:57 left to play in the third. 2-0 RPI over Princeton. Looked like there was going to be a too many men on the ice call, but nothing doing. The official was doing a good job sorting that out.
You know what I think that was? I think that was just the fans cheering because the fan who caught the puck gave it to a kid. That's probably where the reaction came from, and I bought it, hook, line, and sinker. Anyway, back to action here. I thought they were reacting to something on the ice. Not the case, of course. It's something in the crowd. Fulton from the near side looking for the deflection. It was Bourbonnais who was going to the net, and it went right by him into the corner. Now DeVito looks to cycle there, and it's carried out by Davis. Davis across the line. Tigers are just onside. DeVito plays it behind his own goal to the near corner, looking for Wilson. Past him. Now thrown from the point, wide of goal. DeVito has it in the far corner now, behind for Wilson again. Wilson gets dumped by Berlin. Played back towards the point. Davis on it. Takes the shot. It was blocked. To the far corner it goes. Hampton works up the wall for Bourbonnais. He takes a shot from Zajac. And now it's kicked by Zajac, trying to keep it in the zone. They do. Berlin, a shot gloved by Kasdorf, was headed well high and wide, and he will hold on to it there. Shots 27-14 RPI. With 14:04 left in the third. Engineers holding on to that 2-0 lead. They had 2 first period goals, and they have stood so far. Miller, his second of the year from Melanson and Leonard. Then Wilson, his second of the year from the Liberté and Bubella. That's all the scoring so far. The second RPI goal, mind you, was a power play goal. So the Engineers pick up their 4th man advantage tally of the year. And we're back to action here. Far side of the RPI zone. Prapavesis throwing it near side, too far out in front of Miller. Nearly got on the end of it. It's sent back the other way by the Tigers, however. Into the far corner. Prapavesis there. Prapavesis trying to kick it to himself up the boards. Runs into McLaren. It'll go back behind to the near side corner. Pinching up the boards is Sabo. And the Engineers have it. Far side of their own zone. Nanny. Back from Melanson, threw it into the near corner, nobody there. Leonard has to go back and get it. Behind for Prapavesis, he'll help it up the far side boards, kept in by Poppy. Tigers winning the field position battle, if you will, but they haven't turned it into too many opportunities here in this third period. And has worked up the ice, right to the line, carried in by Miller, near side Melanson. Melanson looking for the drop pass, spins around in the corner. Melanson to the hash marks, handoff Bokenfor. Bokenfor walking in, goes behind the cage, wraparound try, saved by Finney, and moved away by Hollisey. Hollisey off the wall, out to center. Engineers will move it right back in. Bokenfor, drop past Melanson in the circle. Looking across for Nanny. A little bit of miscommunication there as Nanny went to the front of the net, and the pass went to the far side circle. All the way down the ice, the deflection came off the stick of Brockett. Engineers pick it up behind the goal. It's Wood. Wood gets pressured there by Robinson. He'll play it off for Bokenfor, spins it towards the near point, kept in there by Becker. Now Robinson lost it on the stick handle, but Liberté plays it ahead for Schrader, shoots it off the boards, out to center, shot back in by Nelson. Kasdorf stops it behind his own goal to the near side for Robinson. Off the board, centering pass, looking for the shot there. Comes from Nelson over the top. Engineers looking just a bit discombobulated here in their own end. Nelson again. That shot hits a skate. Free to the slot, picked up by RPI. It's Liberté who flips it high in the air. Bouncing puck. Will come all the way to Wood. He's got a tiny little chance and he swings and misses. Wrap around, try centering pass, swatted away by the stick of Finney. To the far side is Liao. Up the boards, kept in by Reno. In the corner, Schrader spins off a check to the far side hash marks. He'll cycle for McGowan. McGowan in the corner trying to dig it out. Still McGowan. He'll cycle for Liljegren. Liljegren watched by Nelson. Walks out of the corner. Liljegren a shot. And that one turned away. Shot by Wilson. Sticked into the netting. And finally we get a stoppage here. 11:32 to go in the third. Back and forth opportunities. Neither team able to find the back of the net.
Well, RPI again have a good chance. Liberté just skying one for Jake Wood just out of his reach. Wood had a swipe on it coming around. Finney just gets his stick on the wraparound attempt for Liljegren. 11:32 left to play in the third. 2-0 RPI.
Face off in the defensive zone for Princeton. Moved out to center. Foster takes a hit from Babella. Wilson throws it near side for Liljegren, who will skate it up the near side boards, crosses center, gets into the zone, but Grabowski flips it far side for Davis, who fanned on his initial pass. And second try, swatted back into the Princeton zone by McGowan. Tie up in the corner. McGowan deeper for Liljegren. He's pinned against the wall by Foster. And now the Tigers will move it out to center ice. Bouncing puck. Reno's going to track it down in his own zone. In the corner with it. Up the wall for McGowan. Turning and shooting there. The shot was poked away. Never got to Kasdorf. Now it's poked off the stick of Skirbic. Picked up by Reno. Feeds it up the far wall. McGowan trying to chop it out of the zone. This group at the end of a shift here for RPI. So look to get the puck deep. They don't do so yet. Well, they are able to make a partial change. Fulton carries it along. Shifty move, gets free and just dumps it into the far corner. It'll deaden there. Played up the wall by Davis. Kept in by Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais passed everyone to the corner for DeVito. DeVito trying to move it out. Top of the circle. Maybe a handoff for Prapavassis. He'll play it down low for Bourbonnais instead. Bourbonnais now. Far side hash mark, spins away from Foster. Still Bourbonnais, driving to the net, trying to feed it in front. He lost it at the last second. It'll be carried out by Hollisey. Hollisey off the near boards, trying to go around Leonard. DeVito helps out. He'll play it up the wall towards the point. Leonard helps it out to center ice. Bourbonnais trying to skate around Pompey, runs into him, lost the puck. It'll be controlled by Kesselman. Kesselman near corner. Takes a bump, lost the puck. Bourbonnais now looking to center from the far side corner. Out in front, one-timer, Miller! Mark Miller put it in the top corner, an identical play almost to his first goal of the game. It's 3-0 Engineers.
Yeah, it was a mirror image of his first goal. This first goal happened near side, and then this goal happened far side, but he was standing in pretty much the exact same spot. He just got the pass in a different location, and he put it in the same spot. High glove side against Finney to make it 3-0 RPI. So Miller scoring his second of the game at 9:41 left to play in the third. 3-0 RPI over Princeton.
So off the draw, the Tigers are moving into the zone. Berlin sandwiched behind the goal. Now Berlin centering pass on the backhand, saved by Kasdorf. Puck sits at the side of the net, finally worked away from the goal by Hampton. And now out to center. Princeton will have to fire it back in and touch up. Grabowski will rattle it all the way around. Offside are the Tigers, and we'll have a face-off coming on the offside whistle. Bourbonnais picks up the primary assist. That's all we're going to get. That could change.
Miller from Bourbonnais,
right? That was the pass. I'm not sure if there's anyone else involved. We'll find out. Anyway, it's 3-0 RPI with 9:13 to go in the third. A little bit of breathing room now if you're the Engineers, as this puck is bounced into the neutral zone by RPI towards the blue line. Sent back the other way by the Tigers is Liao. Liao into the zone trying to get around Leonard. Spins there, and he's tripped up. RPI going to take a penalty here, as the Tigers still have it. Now the Engineers touch up, as back to the power play for just a third time go the Tigers, and once again it's a Liberté, and this is an oddity here. This is the first time Jacob the Liberté has ever taken 2 penalties in a single game. So I think he's only had, now 8 penalties in his career, now a senior.
Yeah, and that's a testament to the Liberté just staying out of the box. It's proof that he does take penalties, he does make mistakes, he does have positioning problems. 8:54 left to play in the third. 3-0 RPI.
Shot from the point, deflects into the far corner. And really picked up in the corner by the Tigers. Centering pass right in front. They don't score, hit the crossbar. Second post hit by Princeton here. On the point blank, Alfred Kasdorf knew nothing of it. And somehow that puck stayed out of the net. Wow, the Engineers are getting all kinds of puck luck here this evening. And it hasn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to score a few goals yourself, as Grabowski skates it back the other way. Grabowski into the zone. Takes a hit there, lost it. Helped behind by Ciro. Now to the point for Grabowski. Lines up a slapper. That one goes wide. Far point, Ave chops it off the back wall. Centering pass, and they do score. Foster from Ciro, and it's 3-1. A power play tally with exactly 8 minutes to go in the third period.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time as RPI defensemen kept letting those Princeton forwards skate right in onto Kasdorf. That one was just a good centering pass from the back of the net, and it just beat Kasdorf. However, RPI still has a 2-goal lead. 8 minutes left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI over Princeton. That guy was left all alone.
Center ice draw. Worked up the near side boards by the Engineers. And now in a shot on goal, and a save by Kasdorf. He'll hold on. Getting back to my point there earlier, Ed. Liberté took 1 penalty as a freshman. He took 1 penalty as a sophomore. He took 0 penalties last year. And he had 1 penalty earlier this year. Now 2 in this game. So he's really getting a little bit, a little bit unruly here.
Well, it's his senior year. He hasn't visited the penalty box often. He wants to get a taste of what it's like in there.
Maybe he made friends with the penalty box operator there. I don't know. Anyway, 7:46 left in the third. Now a 3-1 game. Engineers on top. And it'll be moved out and all the way down the ice. We'll have a whistle here and an icing call. So RPI's lead back to 2 goals. That precarious situation, but that third one, you see how important that third goal is now, as Princeton has answered on the power play. Face-off coming to Kasdorf's left. Shot right off the draw. It was a tricky play that time by Hollisey, but the save was made by Kasdorf.
Yeah, Hollisey winning the face-off, and then face-off acted also as a high shot right up on Kasdorf. So good job by Hollisey putting the puck on net, and a nice awareness by Kasdorf. 7:35 left to play in the third. 3-1 Princeton, 3-1 RPI on top rather.
Face-off upcoming, dump behind the RPI goal to the far side board. Shot from the tight angle, saved by Kasdorf, kicked at, moved out to center by the Engineers. Speed for Nanny into the zone, flying in, wrist shot coming, save, rebound pops out in front, but Melanson couldn't get his stick on it. Turning it around in the zone is Nanny. Down low for Melanson. Lou Nanny really showing that top end speed on that drive to that. It seems like every time he moves into the zone with that kind of room, he's going to make something happen. Tie up in the near corner, comes towards the point. Leonard just shoves his man down, puck out to center ice. Miller's got it there. Now dumped in by Melanson, will go behind the goal. Picked up by Pompey. Pompey down the middle, helped into the far corner by Becker. Parkerino back to get it behind his own goal. 6:45 left in the third. It's 3-1. Looks like the RPI women's team has put a goal on the board, which is something not too many teams have done this year against Quinnipiac. It's 5-1 in the third period, but just the 4th goal allowed by the Bobcats in this their 9th game of the year. That's unheard of. But RPI now down 5-1 to the 5th-ranked team in the nation on the women's side. Here at the Fieldhouse, it's 3-1 Engineers over Princeton as they work it up the near side boards. And now Reno behind the net. Reno trying to work it up the wall. He's being harassed there by Kesselman. Turn it over behind the goal. Liao trying to center. Taken away by Parker Reno for a second. Now a centering pass. Kesselman, good defensive effort that time by Fulton to break up the play. Didn't get the shot away. Now Bourbonnais off the wall, finds Fulton. Looks to pick up speed into the zone. Has a man in front. It's DeVito. Another good defensive effort that time by the freshman Grabowski to break things up as RPI entered the zone. Tie up in the corner. DeVito trying to work it free. As is Fulton. Finally pops out to the circle. Swatted away off of the stick of Ave, and now Grabowski again. Grabowski at the near side boards. Liao gets dumped there, picked up Fulton. One-timer comes. A low shot was stopped there on the try by Bourbonnais. Finney was able to get the stick down, and now it's cleared off the wall, but not out of the zone. Hampton keeps it in, stick handling, and it's popped back to the neutral zone where it's controlled by Liljegren. Liljegren into the zone on the backhand, driving save. Rebound puck free, put wide by Schrader. Didn't have a lot of space to shoot that one as he had a tight angle, and now a cross-ice pass has moved out to center. Good play by Liljegren, drawing a couple defenders with him, and he got the shot away. The rebound fell to Schrader, but it was a bouncing puck, and he couldn't quite get his stick on it. Now Schrader picks it up again. Backhand feed for Bourbonnais, trying to look it back across to Schrader, and it doesn't work that time. Carried back out to center by Princeton. Far side, Foster, the goal scorer for the Tigers, has it behind the goal. Still Foster, working it to the far side of the net, now to the corner. The goal for Foster, mind you, is first of the season and third of his career for the Tigers, playing in his 28th game in orange and black. This will be gloved by Kasdorf. He hold on to it there.
And you know, Kasdorf doing a good job being awareness. And on the other side, Lou Nanny showing his speed and really carving an niche for himself in Troy, as Perry is Minnesota native, grandson of a Minnesota hockey legend out there.
For sure, and another Lou Nanny, right. Didn't want to go to Minnesota, right, and so he's here at RPI, and RPI fans couldn't be happier to have him here with the Engineers. Here's Miller, near side for Leonard. He'll scoop it into the air, bouncing puck to the blue line, and it'll be moved towards the line, but flipped back the other way by the Tigers. Prapavesis shoots it around near side, intercepted by Hollisey. He throws it through the slot, picked up Prapavesis again. Up the wall and thrown right back to Prapavesis. It'll be controlled by the Tigers once more. Poppy, nice connection into the zone comes Princeton. 4-on-2, shot from a tight angle. Not exactly what you're looking for if you're Princeton there. As we moved out towards the neutral ice area, La Liberté ahead off the feed from Schrader. La Liberté gets it deep. Avoiding the interference that time was Poppy, and now he'll skate it near side ahead for Hollisey. Dumping into the far corner, going off on a change. Reno's there with 3:17 to go. Cross ice pass near side. Jared Wilson a chance to look up ice. He'll cross into the neutral zone. Gets as far as the red line where it's turned back around while he gets back on the puck, poked off his stick by Zajac. Thrown right into Wilson, who is just getting up off the ice. And they'll tie up right in front of the RPI bench area. Shots are 34-20 RPI. As Wilson trying to work it up the wall. Intercepted. Chance for the Tigers. Shot right on the try by, I believe that was a single number over there. Could be Brockett. I'm not sure. Anyway, Kasdorf made the save. We'll have a stoppage in play.
Yeah, Kasdorf saw that all the way, but again, RPI a little lackadaisical thus far in the third, especially on defense. Princeton really has had the majority of play. 2:50 left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI on top of Princeton. If it wasn't for Kasdorf, though, this game might be a different story.
Yeah, Max Becker, the freshman from Orange, California, had that pretty clean look from the far circle. Few too many of those if you're RPI today. Now is a chance to break for Bourbonnais, trying to skate around Davis, but Davis very strong on his skates there. And Davis tried to maybe draw a penalty in the far corner of his own zone, didn't get it. Sent back the other way by the Tigers. Leonard helped behind the cage for Prapavesis. Far side boards. And good play at the wall by Liao to just slow things up. Now Liao trying to work off the boards. He goes down, poked free, towards the point, picked up by Bourbonnais, carries it out to center. Played along to the Princeton blue line, controlled by Grabowski. Coming up on 2:10 to go now in the third. 3-1 Engineers. Glove down, shot there, saved by Kasdorf off his chest. It goes into the netting. There's another giveaway thrown right onto the stick of Aaron Kesselman. But Kasdorf staying tall, and the butterfly is able to keep that one out.
Yeah, again, RPI defensively, not a good period for them. Offensively, yeah, Miller gets the goal, but defensively is what matters. They don't want to go into that, like to call it the prevent offense, but that's exactly what happens when you play that. Is the other team gets offense in on you, and I'm going to keep an eye on Finney right now. He's in the back of his net right now.
Yeah, see when the Tigers elect to potentially pull him behind the goal line. Centering pass saved by Kasdorf, has the mitt on it. Kind of sat next to him, but once again, Jason Kasdorf in good position, able to make the stop and keep this a 3-1 game.
1:55 left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI over Princeton. Shots now 36-23.
Puck sitting on the dot near side of the RPI zone, still there. Finally moved out by Melanson. He'll stick handle ahead. 2-on-1 chance for Melanson and Nanny. Melanson walking in, a shot, save. Rebound goes behind the cage. Nanny trying to feed it in front again. It's cleared away by Avi. Good chance for RPI that time. Melanson elected to shoot instead of feeding it across. There was a defender there. As Princeton back the other way, takes a shot, deflects into the far corner. It's going to be Ciro. Ciro still on it far side. There goes Finney. Shot round and saved by Kasdorf. Princeton gets the offensive zone whistle. Face-off upcoming there. And we'll see. Maybe a timeout is going to be taken by Princeton here with a netminder pull.
Yeah, it looks like they pulled Finney at just the right time. 1:18 left to play in the third. Some out-of-town scores for you. Clarkson and Cornell still tied at 1. Yale over Dartmouth 4-1. And 6-2 Harvard over Brown now, and 3-2 Colgate over St. Lawrence. It is a timeout for Princeton. And in Schenectady, Union and Quinnipiac now tied at 3. So that's where we stand in the ECAC play. And of course, right here, it's 3-1 RPI over Princeton. So RPI, Coach Happer talking to his defense and saying, guys, you got to play a lot better than you have been playing. There's an extra attacker out there, and there's a minute 18 seconds left, and we get our 4th victory in ECAC play. So just hold still for 1:18, and we can skate in and talk about what we did wrong this period.
Final from women's hockey, it was 6-1 Quinnipiac over the Engineers. The RPI goal scorer was Laura Horwood, her second of the year assist to Ali Svoboda. Brianna Piper was in net for the Engineers, had 26 saves. RPI is in action tomorrow against Princeton. It's a 4 o'clock start down in Princeton, New Jersey.
And we'd like to remind you, you're listening to 91.5 FM WRPI Troy, coverage of Engineer men's hockey. Ed DeGuerin along with Perry Lascaris here from the field house.
Face off back to the point. Tigers have 6 skaters out there and no goaltender. There's a pass off the back of the cage. Will go to the far corner. Leonard has his man tied up. Zajac trying to dig it out for Princeton. And now Robinson back to the point. Scooped high in the air. Will this come down in the ice surface? Yes, it will. Now a centering pass, backhand saved by Kasdorf. Loose in the crease. Still loose. The shot goes wide. On the try that time by Zajac. Another prime scoring opportunity for the Tigers with 45 seconds left. Tie up in the near corner. Back to the point. Poppy. Wrist shot blocked by Schrader. McGowan trying to backhand it out of the zone and does. Up the wall it goes. Picked up by the Tigers. It's going to be Davis back to his own zone below the goal line. A little bit of pressure from Liljegren with 27 to go. Ahead for Hollisey, and now into the zone. Shot back the other way for a second. Picked up by Hollisey. It's played with a high stick, so that'll force the face-off back to the Princeton zone. That'll force Finney back to his net. It was 16.4. RPI fans can let out a sigh of relief here as this one looks to be headed to the books.
Yeah, and that high stick was really relieving RPI. But again, Kasdorf coming up huge, has another prime opportunity. A foot in front of his crease, he manages to make this stop. So 3-1 RPI over Princeton. 16.4 seconds remain in the game.
Face-off coming, goes back into the near corner of the Princeton zone. Liao trying to battle for it there. Shot up the far wall. Hampton's going to get there and shoot it right back in on goal. It'll be gloved down by Finney with 3 seconds. Near side for Liao. Moves it out to center. For the first time since, or the only time this year since the Union Series, RPI wins on a Friday.
And, a good game by RPI in general. I mean, there was times when they totally controlled play, but there was times when they went into their lapses and Princeton had control of the play. But credit Jason Kasdorf coming up huge, especially in that third period. And let's not forget, Princeton had a crossbar and a post and a goal taken away. So this could be a different story if something happened and Princeton got a little bit more to the left and then a little bit more underneath. We could be looking at a 4-3 win for Princeton, but instead it's a 3-1 loss for Princeton. But a good game by RPI, trying to find their offense and the baby steps, and that's what RPI has to do. But defensively, they got a lot of work to do, especially in the last half of the game.
Yeah, it's exactly what the Engineers needed, is a team that was picked last in the ECAC preseason poll. They're lacking what a lot of other teams in this league have, which is a lot of size and a little bit of its talent as well. It's a game really RPI needed to win if they wanted to continue on their progression to where they want to be. They face a tough Quinnipiac team tomorrow. You don't want to be, you don't want to give away points in this league, especially at home, especially to this Princeton team. And the Engineers were able to come through. Maybe not even their best effort. And Princeton showed some signs, but in the end, RPI was able to come out on top here.
Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned Quinnipiac coming in tomorrow. Let's not forget they had a lead on Union, and now it's tied. Not that they get anything away from Union. Union's certainly a good team, but they had their own troubles over in Schenectady for the first half of the ECAC play. But Quinnipiac comes in here. You have your defensive lapses like you did today against a team like Quinnipiac, and you may dig yourself a hole that you won't be able to get out of. So I will.
No, go ahead.
I will.
We just knew we had to go in the corners, battle hard. We had to make sure we had guys in front of the net and defending our net. So I think we did a pretty well job. So.
How did last week's win against Dartmouth carry you guys through tonight's game?
We knew we had to come into the building being loud and being engaged the whole game. So that was our mindset the whole game. Just like be loud, be engaged, and the rest will take care of itself.
Tomorrow night you play Quinnipiac here at the Houston Fieldhouse. What will you take away from tonight's game into tomorrow night's game?
I think we got to do some of the same things. Just like keep battling hard, keep being loud, and like I said, it'll take care of itself.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on tonight. Thank you for watching Engineers Hockey on RPI TV.
Round 2. 4 minutes left in the third period in Schenectady.